halvening took place 2 weeks ago, and people are already like, "Oh, pump when? Pump when?"
Nah, no pump yet.
No pump yet.
No pump yet. We're not gonna
All
see a
this-
pump for a little bit.
At least from what I've seen in the past, like cycles, the last halving and the one before that, Bitcoin ends up trading sideways for like about 160 days before it starts to see the pump.
Well, we've already been trading sideways and down for 60 days.
So we got 100 days left. Welcome back
So another week.
of your favorite crypto podcast,
Sometimes crypto.
The Unscripted.
Crypto podcast.
What did you do there?
What? I was
You held
adjusting
the
the
mic.
mic. I was adjusting the mic.
I heard it. I hope the
Does it look
cameras are
weird
there.
with it in front of me, or is that preferred?
I mean, William, how else am I gonna look at you?
I'm at the microphone.
Oh, the microphone. Nah, you're good. You're good. Put it in the comments. Let us know if William's microphone in front of him is not.
Because the thing is, it's very intrusive here. Not so much here. Here you can't even tell because I have a black shirt on.
Oh, but like you could see, like, is it in your way? Like you can't see the monitor?
I can see it,
Okay.
but it's in the
right,
camera's
right,
way.
that's
Like
fine.
it's like right here.
It just looks like you got an extra long goatee. Just don't open your mouth.
Hey.
Welcome. So it's been a
Heck of a
catastrophic week for I was gonna say catastrophic. Crypto market's taking a plunge, William. It's not a cold plunge either.
Definitely not. It's been plunging already, but like Bitcoin today did not help.
Nope. How bad was the hit today, William?
Oh, today alone?
Yeah, I guess today alone, or like how bad would you say Bitcoin is hitting?
Son, it depends what we're talking about. Like today alone?
Today we're down like what 4.59% in the last 24 hours.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, in the last 24 hours,
Uh-huh.
Bitcoin is down 4.59%.
No, it's not.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at it live right now.
It's down 8.58%. Well, okay. From wick to wick, it's down 8.58%.
Okay, that's
Because it hasn't
different.
closed.
Wick to wick. Okay.
I'll give you that. You're right about that. You're looking at banter bubbles?
And no, coin market cap.
Oh.
Looking at coin market cap. And the overall crypto market cap is sitting at $2.23 trillion, which also happens to be around 4.53% down in the last day. So crypto market is down. It's
Yeah.
bloodbath out there.
Yeah, total 2.
Total 2.
Is this total? Yeah, total 2. Total 2 sitting at $981 billion.
So total 2 is everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yes. That's correct.
That's factual. That is correct. And do we have any upside for this? Like, is there any potential for this to just kind of like bounce back? Or am I going to have to be looking for a job at McDonald's sometime soon?
Bitcoin still has this much to go before the weekly RSIs are fully oversold.
That much? Very small amount then. So
it's not much. The thing is, it can sit there for a while then.
once RSI gets to the oversold point. If it's oversold, that means it's at the bottom.
At the bottom,
like it
at
has
the weekly
potential
time frame, yes.
to bounce back. Okay.
Meaning there is a good amount of... meaning it has retraced enough to where there's not enough buying... there's no longer a lot... So there could still be sell pressure, but the sell pressure has basically gone away. At that point, it's up to the market to determine if they're going to start buying it all back up or not. Which they do ebb and flow.
Yeah,
Typically what happens when
ebb
RSIs
and
reach
flow.
the bottom, they go up. If they reach the very top, they go back down. but they can always sit there for a little bit before having to do one or the other.
Okay, so like some like
Capitulation. You can call it a capitulation. Now we're just waiting for the market to get bored.
Yep. I mean, halvening took place 2 weeks ago, and people are already like, "Oh, pump when?
Nah, no pump yet.
No pump yet.
No pump yet. We're not gonna see a pump for a little bit.
And at least from what I've seen in the past, like cycles, the last halving and the one before that, Bitcoin ends up trading sideways for like about 160 days.
Yeah.
Before it starts to see the pump.
Well, we've already been trading sideways and down for 60 days.
60 days. So we got 100 days left of this straight up agony of not agony.
Not necessarily.
The word would be, I think a better word would be limbo.
Better word is reaccumulation phase.
That's technical. That is true. This is a
better word is if these were your buying opportunities, take them and enjoy them.
If you're looking for buying opportunities, this is the market you're gonna find them in.
You're not gonna get nothing better than this. RSIs for most of these coins are at the bottom. They're starting to cross. The only thing is, since Bitcoin hasn't reached that moment, they can still go down a little more.
Yep. Still room to bleed. Still room for pain in the market, and still room for more fear to be introduced.
The market's not fearful.
Yeah. So the fear and greed index is currently sitting, according to CoinMarketCap, at 58, which is neutral. And it's neutral and close to
it has dropped.
The greed. Yeah. It has been dropping, of course.
Wait. What did you say? You said 58?
Yeah, 58.
I have a fear and greed index here. This one is from alternative.me, showing us at 67.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, but does it show you by any chance like the that's just showing you the current fear and greed index?
Yeah, even Binance Square that I just pulled up is showing fear and greed index at 67 as well. These are showing greedy.
Okay. Yeah, well, CoinMarketCap is practically like 2 points away from greed. From being greedy.
Yeah, but 67 and 58 are big numbers.
Yeah, that's 10. Oh, yeah, that's like.
And that's
10,
why I said hold up, because it hasn't been there. I haven't seen it that low.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of developments around the world that might be reason for it to drop down, and
no, it shouldn't be greedy. There's no reason why the market says it's greedy right now.
Yeah, I agree. There is very little reason for the market to be greedy right now. But enough of the price update. I think we should get into some news, don't you think?
I guess.
Some crypto news.
I guess, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we talked about strict about Bitcoin. Hold on. I'm jumping the gun. William, what other assets do you want to talk about in terms of price action and like how they're doing right now specifically? Because I have a feeling there's a couple that are itching you, that you're itching to talk about.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to talk about?
About like the current price of like different coins.
What coins?
I'm asking. No? None?
Everything's bleeding. Great DCA time.
Great DCA time. I concur. So where do you want to start? What's
I love how you decide to want to move around, and then you're not going to move.
Well, the reason why I say to move is because like we talked about like a handful of different things.
Yeah, but like you still have the Hong Kong ETF to talk about that affects price.
Correct, Hong Kong ETF, but like I feel like that's separate news. That's why I was.
We're talking about Bitcoin. It's not separate.
I suppose.
Well, no.
Okay, well, yes. Hong Kong is exactly where I wanted to go to it, and I'm glad you mentioned it.
This guy.
because it feels like this guy reads my mind sometimes, and then he's upset because he gets to it, and then it's like, oh, why didn't I say it? I was like,
I did say it.
I know you said it. Okay. Well, what do you got for us? What's up with this Hong Kong ETF?
Don't you love it when he's asking these questions to me when he's the one who wanted to roll over and he just throwing it back at me after he just said he wanted to talk about it? Isn't it great?
Yeah.
This guy. This guy.
But yeah, Hong Kong ETFs launched. Specifically their
yesterday.
Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, because they don't have any other ETFs. That's the only ones available on the market. They did launch yesterday, and based off of what people were expecting the volume to be versus what the actual volume was, I and others would say it was a flop, with
This guy.
people expecting it to be more than, like, somewhere in the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of volume, but they only saw a staggering 12.8 million, which is nowhere near what the expected volume was for the Hong Kong ETFs, and it was definitely nowhere near what U.S. markets did at the beginning of the Bitcoin ETFs. So flop is what I'm calling it.
I'm not gonna say it's a flop.
You're not gonna say it's a flop.
Nope. I'm gonna say those who said, because I didn't see a lot of people saying it, but those who said that it was gonna either reach 100 million or exceed the U.S. Open for the ETFs, I think they were just very hopeful. The reason I say that, and I can say that very confidently, is because China's ETF market, or just their biggest companies that hold assets under management, are nowhere near the size of the U.S. market.
That's straight facts.
So
I agree with the fact that anybody who said that it was gonna get near or surpassing is even what the U.S. market did. I think that's absolutely ludicrous.
I would say also it wouldn't be able to do that because mainland China is also not able to buy the ETFs.
Yeah, just specific wealthy individuals in China who have like some type of corporate status in Hong Kong and have the ability to do it, and then citizens of Hong Kong as well.
From what I saw, wasn't that. From what I saw, no one in mainland China. Maybe the corporations can, but no one in mainland China can, because it doesn't fall under the jurisdictions of the Chinese government, like regulations to do so.
To be like allowed into the Hong Kong ETFs.
The Bitcoin Ethereum ones, yes.
Well, I do know that the people who were saying that it was going to get close to the U.S. market volume was absolutely crazy. Like,
yeah,
super unexpected.
I think it's wishful thinking, but I don't think it's a flop.
12.8 million, I think, is quite small.
How big is their market?
Like, we went over it a prior episode.
All right, that's
Let me see.
going to be a percent.
Let me see if I can.
That's 1%, most likely. That's probably 0.5% of the market, maybe a little less than that. Our ETFs, compared to our market size, are technically a flop too, in that aspect, because our market's multi-trillions.
Yeah, but
Numbers to numbers.
okay,
Just
so
because the number isn't bigger doesn't mean it's a flop.
I'm trying to find the notes that I took for that episode, because I do know that for a fact, like, in the U.S. market, we expected like about a 1% conversion of assets under management from the entities that are providing the ETFs to flow in. And for this Hong Kong ETF, I never saw a. Hold on. So we talked about it. China Southern Fund had $284 billion in assets, and Harvest Fund had $230 billion in assets, which are the two companies offering the ETFs. So that's a total of $514 billion in assets. If we were to do like a 1%,
it's $4 billion.
That's, yeah.
And we didn't get 1% either.
Yeah,
that
is true.
What's 1% of 29 trillion?
That is true.
What I'm saying is
that is true. I think my like
that's all I'm saying.
What is it called? The reference? Yeah, no, 100%. I see where you're coming from. Like the reference is like 1% to convert, but then again, right off the bat is kind of crazy. Like it takes time. Like we like in the previous episode we talked about how there's like a period in which financial advisors take time to study the asset class, and then they start offering it to their clients. So until more people start offering to their clients, it's unlikely that people will be transferring their funds into the ETFs.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So do you expect the Hong Kong ETF's volume to increase over time?
Yeah, I expect both Bitcoin's ETF in the US and over there to just over time just snowball. I think the current IBIT hasn't had any inflows for the last like 3 days or 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because the price of Bitcoin's been tanking. No one's gonna want to buy in. They're gonna want to buy in once they see that price going up again towards the hundreds. Not even towards the hundreds. I say we go above 60, 65 to 70. The inflows are flying back in, and they're buying late again.
Again, because that's how people tend to do it when it comes to crypto.
Yeah, no
buy
one
high,
wants to buy
sell
on the
low.
red days. These days are scary.
No one. Yeah, because the question is, how down will it go? How low will the price drop down to?
Yeah, Bitcoin's already down.
Crypto being such a
18%.
Yeah.
What you're scared of another 18%? That's a lot.
Yeah, but that's a very valid fear that people can have if they don't fully understand the market. That specific, like the specific asset class.
I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's impossible to go down to 20%, but very unlikely. At this
point in time, yeah, at this stage, I'd say it's quite unlikely. But we can't tell the future, that's for sure.
No one can. And if you can, please let us know.
Oh, no one? Yeah, okay. I thought there was like
what?
Clairvoyant people or something like that just see stuff before it happens.
I don't know. Do they tell them the market future? Because they do. Please, we should have them on.
Yeah, we should definitely. I'll make sure. I'll like do whatever I can to have them looking at the market 24/7.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say it's a flop though. I think it's gonna progress, and also just as other countries just start to get their own ETFs launched for Bitcoin and ETH or whatever, it's just gonna start snowballing one after the other.
Yep.
In my opinion.
America was the first. Hong Kong's the second. And there will be more to come. Like that's for sure.
Australia's on their list
as
now
of right
to get one.
Yeah,
before the
as
end
of
the
right
year.
now. Yeah, Australia is the one that's kind of working towards it.
Which I don't even know how
They
big
have
their
two
market is, but okay.
They have two companies filing for a Bitcoin ETF. Van Eck Associates Corp and Beta Shares Holdings. I don't know what their assets under management look like. I don't know how big of a company they are. Obviously, nowhere close to BlackRock. But still, that's two more companies in a whole new market I believe they operate under the AEX. No, my bad. ASX, the Australian Securities Exchange. And yeah, they're expecting a Bitcoin ETF, or the first spot Bitcoin ETFs, plural, to be launched by the end of this year.
Yeah, so fun stuff there. So I think it's just snowball over time and just get progressively bigger, as gold did, and with a much more scarce
Yeah,
asset.
of course. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then we also live in an age where technology is super advanced, and it's much more easy for people to manage their assets versus back then when gold first launched. When the first spot gold ETF was launched, you get to call a broker, go through a whole bunch of stuff,
Yeah,
paperwork,
it'll become easy.
and through mail, not even through like internet.
I will also say we might also see a much slower Bitcoin inflow, like over time, maybe, just because we don't have in-kind withdrawing available. It's only in cash. Versus the China ETF or the Hong Kong ETF correction does have in-kind.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of unfortunate it's kind of unfortunate because the US doesn't allow that. And you made this distinguishment before. You cleared it up for me like an episode or two ago, where I thought in kind meant they will be willing to accept your Bitcoin, and take it under management, which is part of it. But then I thought that excludes the ability of receiving payment as your Bitcoin. Like, you don't have to, like, they could send you just Bitcoin directly.
Yeah, both in this situation would be possible.
Yeah, versus here in the US where you have to sell your coins for dollars, then take those dollars out,
and
then
if you want to rebuy
buy
some Bitcoin, you have to rebuy.
Yeah, which is a huge drawback for sure.
It's an issue. It's all a headache.
Because I feel like there's gonna be people who know a little bit about like how Bitcoin technology works, and could see what the drawbacks are to having a centralized agency manage your Bitcoin versus being your own custodian of the Bitcoin. So there's gonna be some people who be like, "Oh, I was gonna invest, but now that it's like through this ETF, but since there's no in-kind feature, then I just gonna take a little bit more time to understand how the asset works, and then probably buy it and get it on their own wallets."
Or you just buy it on Coinbase.
Yeah,
and leave it on
I
Coinbase.
feel like a lot of
Same thing.
and leave it on Coinbase.
It's really similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's actually I'd say that's one step better than the ETFs.
Yeah, right.
Personally. But I'm looking at something about the Australian market, that they apparently have like a $2.3 trillion pension market. So like pension funds, which is huge. That's a pretty good amount.
That's a lot of money.
I would say. Yeah. So if these people who have pensions kind of like invested through working, they might choose to convert a portion of their portfolio into Bitcoin, making it quite lucrative for these Australian money managers, asset managers.
So they don't choose it. So
The pension owners?
Yeah, so even if you have the pension fund, for the most part, from what I understood, is the company decides that this will be your pension. This is for your retirement for working in this company. They decide where they're going to invest and put it in. It's different as a 401k, because it's not money that you're putting in and investing at the same time. A pension fund is money that the company is allocating to invest for your future once you retire.
Oh, I see. I don't know. I don't get a pension.
Most people in the U.S. don't get a pension anymore. It went away a couple years back, and they changed over 401ks. which people said it was
Oh, I
better,
see.
but it really isn't, because one is your money and some a part of the employer's, and a pension is typically, from my understanding, is just the employer's money. It's the
Okay.
employer putting money aside for once you retire. Much more common back in the days, because people would stay at the company for 30 years, retire with the company, and move on forward.
Very true. Very true.
Also, a lot of
back then those-
pensions would also go belly up, and there wouldn't be any money for their retirement sometimes. That's also something that happens.
That's actually happening more often now, also, or like that happened. There was like a sharp increase in pensions, just failing. Bad investments, and then people, when it's time to retire, they found out that they have no money.
Yeah, it's also
in
like
their
the
pension
whole
fund.
timing thing. If every time people were always retiring every year, just so happens that the year you're gonna retire, the '08 crash happens, the Great Depression happens, COVID happens,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like,
Yeah, that's true. Timing isn't. I think we should all just operate and expect timing to not be in our favor.
yeah, never.
Expect timing to not be in your favor, so you could really put in some extra effort.
Never in your favor. But yeah, like, it's a mixed bag. But yeah, 2 trillion in pension, meaning those companies are not going to be able to allocate crypto. They look at it and go, no, in a 4-year cycle, this does this. Typically, they're like, oh, this is a much better return than this.
Oh, actually, I just read something. These pensions in the Australian market are actually self-managed.
Oh, I eat my words.
Yeah, these are self-managed. Well, there's they go out of, I feel like they go out of their way specifically to state that it's self-managed. So
Okay.
I feel like what you're saying is accurate in the sense of like most pensions are managed by companies,
Okay. Yeah,
but it's not strictly the case.
even better.
And yeah, if these are self-managed, then it's very likely a couple of people are going to be, okay, you know what, time to buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah, they'll
with
look
the
at the same
pension
way.
fund.
Like, every 4 years, it does this. I lose nothing by holding it. It's going to become a point where
Yep.
it's, safer or less risky than other asset classes.
Now my question is, because I'm not aware, I don't know how pensions work too much, is how are they taxed at the end? Do
don't
they
know.
get taxed like capital gains tax, or are they tax exempt?
I-
I think that probably depends on the country that it's in.
That would depend on country,
Yeah.
the regulations. I have no idea how they're taxed. I don't know how they're taxed here
Yeah.
either. I know 401ks are taxed differently here too. If you get if you have your 401k pre-tax, meaning you're not getting, like, they're investing before you get taxed. That money, whenever it's due, will have some sort of tax applied to it. If I know if it's after taxes, meaning they already tax everything, then you're gonna invest in the 401k. Then it's tax free. There's only a penalty for drawing the funds out, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah, early before your like vested time is
Correct. Yeah. If you go
like
wait to
it's
65 and you're retired, there is no penalty. There are no taxes.
Mhm.
It's just your money.
Yeah. So in going back to Hong Kong, there's actually like they have a 0% tax rate for crypto gains over there,
Really?
which is interesting.
Oh, talking about
Yeah.
taxation now. We can roll into our next topic at this point.
Okay.
Uncle Joe.
It's Uncle Sam, William. What are you talking about?
No, he's the one who wants
Taxation?
to implement it.
Oh, Sleepy Joe.
That's why I said Uncle Joe. Yeah, Sleepy Joe.
Okay, I see.
Ooh, I just kicked the fudge out of my
I
desk.
see. Yeah. I don't know too many nicknames associated with him.
Okay, Sleepy
Besides
Joe, Uncle Joe,
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe, Joseph,
Grandpa
Joseph
Joe.
Biden. So, his governance, his cabinet, his people, his squad.
His people, his cabinet, that's the one.
His
That's the one.
squad.
Squad it.
Wants to
What's up?
raise
Tell me.
the minimum, well, not the minimum, wants to raise capital gains on all assets.
At a federal level.
Federal, well, capital
Of
gains
course,
is
of
federal.
course. He's a president. Has to be federal.
Yeah. Wants to raise capital gains from the current max, which is 30%, to 44 point. I think it was either 44% or 40 point something percent. 44 point something percent.
44%
Yes.
that's ridiculous.
And
I was gonna say ludicrous again, but I already used that word.
And at the same time, he wants for wealthy individuals. I don't know of a number. I don't think like it's been shown or implemented or shown or whatever.
Like the tax bracket.
Yeah, what tax bracket? But after a certain high net worth individual, you will be taxed as well as on top of that a 25% unrealized capital gains tax.
Unrealized.
Meaning the stock they could have bought the stock $100 million worth of stock. It goes to 10. They didn't sell, they just hold it, get taxed 25%. The following year could go to 0. Nothing you can do about it.
$100 million, it drops down to 10.
Like I'm saying you invest $1 million, you make
10 million.
It makes 10x,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you buy.
Oh, okay.
Like,
1 million. 1 million, it goes up to 10.
It goes to 10.
Okay. Because you said 100 million goes to 10.
I don't think I said 100 million.
That's exactly what you said,
Okay,
but don't worry
no.
about it.
If you invest $1 million,
1 million, it goes up to 10.
It-
It goes up to 10.
it goes
you
back
get taxed 20.
like it goes back,
Mhm.
it goes to 0. It goes to that same 1%.
Company goes
belly
bankrupt,
up.
closes.
You bought a meme
Uh-huh.
coin. The meme coin it made 10 million on paper one day, and then the next day it was 0. That's a very
Okay,
plausible
you pay
thing.
the taxes. Yeah.
You're liable for that 25%.
That's ridiculous.
Also, it could be $1 million.
That's
too. It
insane.
could just double, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're liable for it.
You're just saying. That's ridiculous. Unrealized
And of course, you're
capital
not gonna be able
gains
to do
taxation is
unrealized
ridiculous.
losses. And I'm like,
Unrealized
don't even think about that. You're not getting unrealized losses.
No, that's-
like no.
That's not an option for
No.
sure.
That's too fair.
That's
That's too fair.
too
That's too fair. We want unfair, not fair.
I mean, we want fair, but some
I'm in the
people
government,
want
not us.
unfair.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't mean us. I didn't mean you and me.
Yeah, of course. Wow, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
And you said that applies to everybody?
Which one?
The unrealized capital gains?
From what I saw, it was wealthy individuals.
Wealthy individuals.
I don't.
What type of wealth are we talking about?
From what I
type of
saw, it looked like the 1%, like the top of the top. But I don't know if it
Mhm.
is the top of the top, to be sure. You know.
Yeah, wealthy individuals.
Yeah.
I'll say probably anyone with like 100 mil plus.
I don't think so.
Less?
I think so. I want to
Oh,
say
wow.
like, it might be like 10 and up,
10 mil plus?
maybe.
That's crazy. With inflation these days, there's 11-year-olds who are millionaires.
Let's
That's
see what comes up.
like
But yeah,
those people are gonna these 11-year-olds are gonna be paying hella taxes for their entire life. Unrealized capital gains tax is absolutely insane. It's like paying taxes on money that doesn't exist. That just goes to show that money really is a construct.
okay. I was
It's all
wrong. You
a
literally
fugazi.
nailed it on the head.
What?
You said 100 mil. That's the number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the number. I'm gonna read it. This is by Forbes. It's a quick Google search. In case you missed it, a $5 trillion tax hike looms over Americans' households and business in President Joe Biden's latest budget proposal, which would include a 25% annual minimum tax on unrealized capital gains for individuals with incomes and assets exceeding 100 million.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right on the money.
Yeah.
So it won't affect most. Like it would affect literally the top 1%. To be honest,
Yeah, for sure, the top 1%.
but still,
that's no, 100%. I'm telling you, like, there's literally teenagers who are making tens of millions of dollars now, at the ripe age of teen, they're going to for sure be making hella bread, and can very likely be passing that 100 mil
Mr. Beast
net worth.
This.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Beast definitely passes that.
I just think it's absurd. Like, forget the 100 million and at that level. Why are
You're taxing
fake
fake
they haven't
money?
earned? Like, it's just on paper.
It doesn't exist.
If
It
anything,
doesn't exist.
Take away the ability to take loans out against it and see what happens then.
Yeah, that's different.
And then
that's
take away
sure
the ability
for
the government to issue debt without having the money to back it up. Let's see what happens then.
Yeah, but then you see this.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like it's
You can see where the
that
problem
affect
is
those,
there, right?
but not they. Like, it affects everyone else, but not the government.
Yeah, of course. There's a saying. There's actually a saying for that, like a phrase, like something for me and mine, but not the the or thine.
Some BS thing we can't remember. But like, it's BS.
No, it is BS.
Like, you want
It's
these
BS.
corporations to pay their taxes. Just make it so they pay their fair share of taxes, and then tax those as well that are in Congress and everything else, the fair rates. And then on top of that, don't let them invest on their own. Put a blind trust on it, and and see what happens then.
Damn, I'm trying to think which podcast I heard this on. I was listening to a podcast. I might have to go through my YouTube history. This is a while, actually. I don't know how long
about it.
YouTube
Maybe I know
holds
which
the
one it
history.
is.
But I think it was like I want to say it's like a Graham Stephan coffee hour type podcast. Cool. I don't know if it was a coffee hour, but they had like some type of financial analyst who specifically all he studies is government spending and taxation.
Okay.
And inflation. And then he was saying, he's like, if we cut back government spending by a few $1 trillion, we could do one better than raising taxes on the wealthy. We could eliminate all federal income tax.
I don't think that's accurate, but okay.
That's exactly what I don't know what number he said specifically, but he was like,
that would have to be a huge number.
It was a couple. I'm telling you, it's a couple trillion. I think. The thing is, I don't want to say a number.
But that has to be also
I don't even think
a certain time frame. Like, it will be tax free after X amount.
Yeah, he's okay. So I'm throwing a hypothetical number right now. I don't remember. I don't even think it reached the double digits. I think it was like $7 trillion. I could be off, but he's like, if we cut back government spending $7 trillion less than what it is today, then we do not need to do capital gains tax.
Oh, just capital gains tax.
Yeah. Shit. Now I don't remember. I don't know if it was capital gains tax or state or federal income tax.
No.
It was one specific tax in particular.
It's probably like, capital gains.
What's the difference between capital gains is whenever you buy an asset and sell it, and then whatever gain, and then federal income tax is whatever
you make a year.
It might coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that because now I'm actually
out of just simple numbers. I know I'm pretty sure it's not capital gains, and I'm pretty sure it's capital gains, the ones you can get rid of, and not at federal income. Just because that's where we get the majority of money, like almost positively.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think it is the federal income one because I remember him talking about how federal income wasn't something that was like it wasn't at the beginning of the country, like that only started with the Civil War, and that it was supposed to be for a short period of time, not for an extended period of time. And then some other president saw that and was like, oh, we need to bring this back in because this is money that we could be collecting. So I think it was federal income tax. I'm gonna look for it because I felt like it was a really good podcast, but I saw that like I want to say like a month, maybe even 2 ago. But going back to the whole taxation thing that the current cabinet's considering, that's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, it's a stupid number.
Taxation on money that does not exist.
Yeah, I tried to Google what's like, where do we get like the majority of tax from? I can't find it, but like that would be what we need to see. Like, where does the majority of the money come from? Because we do have to cut back spending. That's a different issue. But like, what I saw was, even if you raised the federal income tax, like just taxes, to 100% on wealthy individuals, it would only do it would only run America for it would only run America for 60 days.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can take from people versus how much you could spend. You could spend
Limitless.
unlimited. Yeah,
Well,
as long
currently
as
we
you're
can't
borrowing
spend
money, as long as you're borrowing it, yeah, you can spend as much as you want. But if you want to decrease how much of a debt burden you have, stop spending money versus like, yeah, it's just the most financially sane thing to do. Spend less and save more.
Mm-hmm. I saw,
Therefore, we don't have to worry about increasing taxes.
Yeah. I saw a thing that shows that by next year, if we don't do rate cuts, the government will have to pay 1.7 trillion in debt, like in interest on the debt it has.
Wow.
Like, you can't even like
1.7
fathom
trillion.
that number. I can't even
No,
fathom
there's
that.
no
That's
shot.
like a stupid number.
That is really, really high.
Like, that's like something you can't even imagine. I'm sorry, I stepped back.
No, I heard you. Yeah, 1.7 trillion is quite literally ineffable. You can't think about that. What was it? You start counting upwards from one to that number. You'll be around for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, moving from taxation and all this fun stuff. So I've been seeing this little tweet and like article and this like quote from, I forgot who in Congress said it. It could have been Elizabeth Warren. It could have been any one of them that hate crypto. But they said the only thing Bitcoin is good for is for child trafficking, essentially. Right? Like for like dirty crimes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's dirty. Like, you don't even have to go there, but whatever. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to throw out a number.
Okay, here we go again.
Total,
You roasted me last episode for this.
Huh?
You roasted me last episode when we did this.
Okay. Total fraud penalties for banks since 2000. Before you say anything, there are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 10 banks. I'll give you the name of these banks. So, number 1, Bank of America. I'll also tell you how many incidents they've had.
Okay.
Bank of America, number 1, 328.
328 incidents.
Yes. JP Morgan and Chase,
Okay.
275. UBS, 179. Wells Fargo, 266. Citigroup, 181. Deutsche Bank, 99. Goldman Sachs, 111. NatWest Group PLC, 43. Morgan Stanley, 203. PNB Paribas, 23. Give me your number.
So you want me to give you the sum of all of them?
No, I want you to give me the sum of what their incidents total. Meaning, how much in penalties did those 10 banks with those many incidents have to pay the U.S. government?
Yeah. That's okay. Because at first I thought you wanted me to do it for each one, but then I was gonna give you a range. I want to say what, 100 billion.
1,
Is it
2, 3. How many? A billion is 6 or 9?
I don't know. I think it's.
I think it's 6.
So a billion is
A billion
9.
is 6.
Is it? 1,000, million, billion. Billion is 9. I'm looking at it.
9?
100 billion is 11 zeros.
11 zeros?
Mm-hmm.
You're close.
I was close.
You're far but close. You're in the billions.
Okay. I'm in the billions. Okay, what? 10 billion.
You said 100.
I know. I said 100.
You're
Yeah.
close.
Oh. So it's that many digits.
Yeah.
So 500 billion.
You went over, but you're close. 387 billion, 559 million, 149,282.
That's how much they had to pay in penalties.
That's how much their combined total would be paid in penalties. I don't think they've paid all that off.
That's an insane amount of penalties that banks have had to pay for
All sorts.
For all sorts of things.
All sorts of things. It can be from creating user accounts. It can be from mismanaging funds. It can be from mislabeling funds. It can be from lying to customers
Money
about
laundering.
certain just legal things. It could whole shebang.
Wow.
Yeah. To be fair, it would not include using that bank to pay off what the alleged Bitcoin is only good for. Which we all know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again. It would not include. Oh, not include that thing that they said.
Yes, it
About
only includes things that the bank has done wrong, not the people who use it.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, that's only what the banks had to pay. That has nothing to do with
the
what
users.
actual users have done with that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna get at.
Correct.
And I got a funny question. How many penalties does Bitcoin have to pay for all of the things it's done?
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If Satoshi was not dead, if people knew who Satoshi was, jail, killed in an accident, that's it.
Camera surprised, so cameras aren't working in his cell block, and then they find him hung.
Bro, it would be CIA. It would be a whole thing.
Hung. They find his body hanging with a bullet wound to his head, and he died of suffocation.
Not even. It would be they find him hanging with a bullet wound to his head, and he died of malnourishment.
Damn.
We're not promoting death
Wow.
in any way, shape, or form. We do not condone that as well.
Don't die.
Just want to be clear.
Oh man, William, this guy. Wow. So whoever that person. They are just. I'm at a loss for words for them. I don't even know what to tell them. I guess we could say on the bright side, it's the transactions aren't blocked behind private interest, where let's say a business owner would be like, oh no, this is private information, I can't share this with you, protected by whatever legal reasons, and all those transactions are on the blockchain, publicly available, so that if someone did do that, at least, I'm not saying people don't do it because it's possible, but like William mentioned, doesn't mean that it's not happening in the banks.
Correct.
At least if it is going on in this public blockchain, then that information will be available to inspect and invest for perpetuity of time. Versus if it's on a centralized network, centralized server by a bank, something could happen to the files. Something could happen to that information and lost forever. And therefore, no chance of anything ever actually happening to the criminals.
Correct. Did we talk about? I know we mentioned it off air. Did we talk about it on here? Some of the taxation that the IRS has implemented towards crypto.
No.
Just because we're already on topic of taxes, crypto, scams, and penalties.
Yeah. No, we haven't talked about it.
So the IRS just released for next year, won't be for this year, be for when you file 2025 taxes, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe for when you could be for when you file 2024 taxes. That you're gonna have to file, or the brokerages are gonna file for you. That you use if you use a centralized exchange, they're gonna file for you what's called a 1099 form DA, 1099 DA, digital assets. So that's going to be labeled with all transactions that have been conducted through that centralized exchange, meaning what came in, what came out, what you bought, what you sold, everything. Right? On that form, they're also asking where was it sent to, where was it sent from, and if you can identify where it went, who it went to, identify it as well. And what was the purpose of that transaction.
Wow. That's not good news.
Yeah.
That's not good news at all for people conducting trades on. Where's the right to privacy there?
So I heard that and that kind of frustrated me. What also frustrated me, which I get it, make your money, but companies like Chainalysis and all these other companies that literally get paid for this are working with the IRS to build this system, to build the software to do it, to track who the wallet belongs to, the transactions going, all that. And it's kind of like you're also not crypto forward, or you're not even crypto forward. You're also not right of privacy.
Are we seeing the corruption of crypto around the corner? Is crypto corruption near?
What do you mean?
Well, this kind of happened back when, like, large tech companies with like Google, Amazon, Yahoo, Facebook, like the internet as it is supposed to be free, open source, available to all, like indiscriminate in a sense. But tech companies grew very, very fast. And as such, they started implementing features in their technology that seemed a little much for what people were signing up for. So, like, constantly being tracked, constantly, like there's a lot of abuse of power. Like, cookies left and right, seeing what you're looking at, selling, making a bunch of money off of your information that you're developing, that you're producing off of using the internet. And Web3 for the most part is decentralized. It is censorship resistant, but there's depending on how much effort you put into it, depends on how private it is. And companies like this, like Chainalysis and other blockchain analytics companies, are specifically doing just that analysis. And organizations like the IRS are harvesting information with threat of criminal penalty for not giving them the information, strictly for not giving them the information, to practically try to do whatever they can to have power over the individual. And as we continue seeing growth in crypto, more market cap and more liquidity flowing into it, we continue to see bigger and bigger pushes of that overreach from these larger entities who are in the space. My question is, are we seeing the beginning of the corruption for Web3?
You say corruption, but you mean corruption in the sense of like Web3 being corrupted?
Yeah, like as in the original vision of what it is no longer viable. Like, it's no longer available to us because of so many restrictions in place by the people who already had a lot of power.
I think this is something we've talked about in the past, and maybe I say it more than you so. Yes and no. I think it will become a two-party playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have said that.
I like saying it a lot. But I do think that's maybe what will happen to a degree is you will have that portion where you completely are only on Web3, transact on Web3, and figure out how to make it work only there. And you will, unfortunately, maybe fortunately, will just have to move around wallets more often than you would like changing the addresses to stay somewhat anonymous and not make it seem like it's coming through the same accounts or the same wallets, whatever. Opening up new non-KYC exchanges and DEXes. Like, you'll just have to move from where it is now to that, and then whenever you want to, buy something in the real life or wherever the country is, you're gonna have two options. You're gonna have to figure out someone who's willing to buy it on their own wallet, who the government is just meant for this one purpose, and then that wallet you sent it to, you no longer use that wallet. It's burned, and it's gonna be a whole thing. Like, you're gonna have to make it, as you said, give up some convenience and make it more difficult. To get
that's typically what it comes down to. That's typically what it comes down to when you want privacy. There will be conveniences that you will have to give up.
I'm also going to say one more to add. You can also, I don't think all countries are going to do this. I think some that see the amount of money that crypto brings in general, and maybe not the amount of crime, because there's less crimes or whatever. And then the people who do crime still get found. Like, you can still find those.
Yeah, I think crime isn't disincentivized on blockchain technology.
Yeah. But it's like the same way we have hackers now. Like, you don't know how they hacked into this or that. It's like, what are you going to do? Or if you do know who did it, you don't know how they did it. So you can't really come after them. So I think there'll be countries that see the bigger picture of crypto and be like, you know what, we're not going to do this. We'll still tax you on crypto. That way we still incentivize you to use it, pay our taxes, but we still want you here. This, I think, will make people not want to use Coinbase to a degree, not want to use KuCoin to a degree. They'll find a
100%.
Different way to get dollars.
Like you said that, and I'm already considering closing my accounts.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, I'm going to figure out a different way to onboard money.
Yeah.
Whatever
I'm going to be honest.
However,
I probably
will or not be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just a lot of people aren't even against paying taxes. Like, we live in a community. We have to help each other out. So, like, for those investing in crypto, they're just like, I'm just investing. I just want more bang for my buck in the future. Like, I want to make sure my assets are. Yeah, exactly.
The person who wants to transact freely and cross borders with no issues will care.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's something they did. So I say that to not really move off topic. We're still in the range, but that ties in well to this this public service announcement that the FBI gave a few days back now on April 25th. Marlito, one more time, right here. Quick read. The FBI warns Americans against using cryptocurrency money transmitting services that are not registered as money services business, MSBs. According to the United States federal law, they give some specific thing of the law, and do not adhere to anti-money laundering requirements. A few simple steps can prevent unintentional use of non-compliant services. For example, avoid cryptocurrencies money transmitting services that do not collect know your customer KYC information from customers when required. Continuing the thing. At MSB registration, the FBI has recently conducted law enforcement operations against cryptocurrency services which were not licensed in accordance with federal law. People who use unlicensed cryptocurrency money transmitting services may encounter financial disruptions during law enforcement actions, especially if the cryptocurrency is intermingled with funds obtained through illegal means. Risky services.
There it is.
Cryptocurrencies money transmitting services that purposely break the law or knowingly facilitate illegal transactions will be investigated by law enforcement. Using services that does not comply with legal obligations may put you at risk of losing access to funds after law enforcement operations target these businesses. So they say all that, but then they still want you to pay taxes if you use one of those services.
I mean, on top of that, there's people who study for exams to be certified and be allowed by the U.S. government to provide services like this. They don't expect the clients of these people to have this knowledge base that they're asking us now to have for using some type of services someone's providing. Like, if someone, granted, let's say I'm an average everyday Joe who doesn't know much about how money works, or like what, better yet, specifically financial regulations that are required by large entities.
You are.
Like, how am I supposed to, yeah, huh?
You are.
I am. Yeah, exactly. How am I supposed to know when I need KYC? That's not my responsibility. That's why people go and take tests to be able to provide these services.
Yeah.
Because they know what the government's asking, and then they are the ones who are supposed to be compliant and give us these forms to fill out. It's not like, oh yeah, I need to send money over here. I'm gonna fill out this form over here. Give you this. This is my information. Here, send this money. It's like, no. All I care about is I need this money sent over here. You're the one providing me the service. Okay, then here, I need you to fill this out for you to be like a client. So if that were the case, like I would say then anybody can open up a money transmitting service, and then they're no longer the what is it? That's the Federal Exchange Commission that's supposed to be responsible for that and those regulations. The FEC, the FEC is definitely like what's it called? Unnecessary. My bad. SEC. F. I kept on saying F. The Securities Exchange Commission is like, that's what's their job now. Like,
that's the thing. What they're saying is that you the companies you use that don't require, like, you have to be using companies that do require it, or you should be using companies that do require it.
How do I know when a company is supposed to require it or not?
What do you mean? Well, okay.
Like,
so I see what you're trying to do there, but for the most part, none of these services are provided unless they have it already. Or they're for the most part, they just wouldn't work in our region.
probably, yeah. I'm not saying that's not true. That's not the case.
But it is. It is though.
It's just that they're pushing the responsibility away from the corporation and onto the consumer.
But they're not though. That's why we're not able to use it.
But they're telling you if you don't use it, if you do use it, then you're you're breaking laws. You face it. I think the word was you face financial uncertainty or something, and so criminal persecution.
That's mainly so that because whatever you're using, this is more so for KYC entities that are being worked. For an example, if you're using a non-KYC exchange, as we talked about in the past, without a VPN, by law you can use it here, right? But the thing is, their services aren't provided here. You can't use Mexi in the US without a VPN. You can't use BingX without a VPN. You can't use non-KYC those because they're sexist in the US because they are non-KYC.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't stop you from using a DEX, right? For the most part, if it's a truly decentralized, DEX. What can happen if you do use a DEX, like it happened to Uniswap, was they'll send you a Wells notice, as it just did to Uniswap, to counteract whatever's going on with them. And in that process, assume that the Wells notice is sent out to them. Uniswap can then be shut down. If Uniswap is shut down with your funds, there's nothing saying that those funds have to be given back to you.
Okay, so you're saying that the PSA is
It's not so
letting
much,
people know.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
That letting customers know that if they do use these services who are not compliant, then any assets that are being managed by them can potentially be at risk.
Correct.
If legal. Okay.
Correct.
So I've heard the term before, but I just wanted to search it up just to clear up any doubt about what a Wells notice is, because MetaMask just got served a Wells notice also, and in response to that, they issued a sue against the SEC.
Correct. Yes.
Some type of So a Wells notice, according to Investopedia, is a notification issued by regulators to inform individuals or companies of completed investigations where infractions have been discovered. It usually takes the form of a letter, which notifies recipients both of the broad nature of the violations uncovered, as well as the nature of the enforcement proceedings to be initiated against the recipient. It's like being served.
Yeah. And then they have like 30 days to reply back to that Wells notice with like why they shouldn't be sued. Typically, when a Wells notice is sent out, they're typically sued. Like 90%, if not more.
Yeah. It says a Wells notice is a formal notice from the SEC informing a recipient that the agency is planning to bring enforcement actions against them. Yeah, and then also I see here the 30 days via, the response within 30 days.
Yeah, so it's not wrong or illegal to use any of those non-KYC exchanges here. They'll still want you to pay
They're just
taxes.
letting you know that.
Just that those exchanges don't want your business because you're an American and they don't want to deal with the headache of the SEC and our government as is.
Okay.
Because they're from the country they're residing in, they don't have those issues. I'm sorry. It's only in the U.S. that they're having all these legal battles now, which is just going to push innovation out in the crypto market for the most part, and they'll just serve it somewhere else because they know they'll find a way to use their services either way.
Yeah, 100%. Just because something's illegal doesn't mean people aren't going to stop using it.
Correct.
That's okay. I think I had slightly misunderstood that initially.
All good.
And then speaking about large corporations and criminal offenses, CZ finally got sentenced. The previous Binance 4 months.
Oh, 4 months. My fault. My fault. I knew it was 4 months, but I said 4 years.
Yeah. They were expecting, I think it was 36 months for it to be.
3 years.
Yeah, the DOJ was trying to get a 36 month sentence.
Yeah, DOJ is pushing for 3 years. And the
he
judge
got 4 months.
Yeah, he got 4 months, and the judge said that he found that CZ did not break any of the laws they're implying. So he's like, why would I give him the maximum? He goes, yes, he essentially saying, my company did provide services to businesses, like to U.S. customers, but it didn't inherently break any rules, apart from like allowing customers to use it non-KYC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's why I brought it up. It was like, yeah, good for him.
I mean, man,
as of right,
it's BS, but yeah.
As of right now, I don't see CZ as a bad guy, per se, as opposed to SBF, who I can't say I see as a bad guy. So if his sentence of 4 months, like I'm sure he's happy. I mean, he was working on a decentralized education platform before, like in the process of his sentencing.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, more free time to work on at this point. Because also, he's not gonna get like
He's
the
not,
worst. He's gonna be in jail either way, which does suck. But he's not gonna be in a terrible jail. He'll probably they're gonna try and negotiate like one of the more white collar crimes that they can find.
yeah, probably.
Nah, there's almost guaranteed.
For some reason, I'm thinking about the picture SBF has with his people from prison.
That's different. FBF is in it.
Yeah, that is different.
That's a little different there. That's all I got.
So, I saw some heat going on to Gary Gensler by Congressman. He I think he actually did something right for once. He chose to not say anything.
Oh,
He chose to not speak.
really?
Yeah. He took the high road, and it kind of bit him in the butt. Well, because essentially some type of committee within the Congress was taking place, and they wanted Gary to answer some questions on the classification for Ethereum, whether it's a securities or a commodity.
Yeah. Before you move forward,
And he refused to answer
that
these.
committee hearing happened like months ago, if not last year almost.
Yeah, it happened a while ago.
Yeah. And they just asked him, Mr. Gensler, as committee chair, can you tell me, do you consider Ether a securities or not?
And he refused to answer the question.
And then they said, as your predecessor before you said he deemed it not a securities. Do you feel the same?
Mhm.
Like those were the words of the questions, and he
declined to answer.
he gave a no. He gave an answer, no answer type of an ordeal.
And so this guy, the Congress representative Patrick McHenry,
What's up?
he says that essentially that, and I quote from a post on X, new court filings show this was an intentional attempt to misrepresent the commission's position. So they're saying that Gary Gensler, as chair of the SEC, was at a committee meeting, and he chose to not say anything to try to get Ethereum labeled as a security versus something else, a commodity, with the information that he knows about it.
Yeah.
Because he definitely didn't want to say that it should be considered a security.
Nope.
Knowing full well that he believes it's a commodity. And at that point, that's just conjecture. But he's actually said it multiple times, and it's like you said, we talked about it in a couple episodes, where the SEC sends some type of document out or issue some type of filing saying, oh, this commodity, like they refer to Ethereum as a commodity. So yeah, he's getting some heat from Congress, essentially, for misrepresenting the people and misrepresenting what his thoughts are on digital assets are.
Yeah.
What's to come of that? I don't know. I don't know what that means for him. But it looks like some type of investigation is going to come out of it. And then at some point, some type of policy that will be placed.
If he has strong feelings about it being a securities, say it. Say it's a securities then. If it's not, say it's not. I think it's more so like it's not an I don't know. It's a more so I don't want it to be.
You don't want it to be a
I'm
security.
saying Gary is like I don't want it to be a. I know it's a commodities, like
commodity.
for example, but I want it to be a securities.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Decision's so delayed.
Yeah, of course. He's digging. Him and the entire SEC is digging for a way to try to get Ethereum labeled as a security versus a commodity, because if it's a security, then it falls under his domain where he can regulate it and he can post certain laws on it and policies.
Yeah.
So he's definitely looking for a way for it. But if it takes this long, either A, you're incompetent and don't know what you're doing, or B, it's not a security.
It's one or the other.
Like, which one is it, Gary?
Yeah. Which that's why you brought it up earlier. We didn't talk about it, but the MetaMask decided to sue. Well, Consensus decided to sue the SEC for not being able to label if ETH is security or not.
Yeah, because Consensus got the MetaMask got the
Wells notice. I don't remember.
Wells notice
for something. I don't remember what it's for.
For money transmission.
Oh, okay.
And
so they're like, you know, you sue us for that. Great, we're suing you for this. Decide. Type of no deal.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Bro, they're playing chess out here.
Yeah. Oh, and to touch back on something we talked about earlier about the ETFs and the size of the markets, if you do different numbers like ETFs by themselves, the American stock, like the US ETF market, is 7 trillion, and the Hong Kong ETF market is only 50 billion. To be clear.
Oh wow. Wow,
so yeah,
big difference.
The other numbers we said were just the amount of assets they have under management, which includes ETF, stocks, everything, bonds, that whole thing. ETFs alone are much different numbers.
Yeah.
Whoever watches this and gets to hear, you heard this extra info. So 12 million out of 50 billion is it's a little prettier.
Yeah. Definitely much prettier, I would say. But anyways, like we said, over time they'll start to increase.
Yeah.
But that's just what we expect from such a young asset class. I say asset class, but digital assets. Yeah, asset class.
That's all I got.
Oh.
I'll make sure to look at the next time.
What's up? Last week we quickly mentioned that the FTX Estate is going to be auctioning off their Solana.
We did. Yes.
And that auction took place over I think it looked like a couple of days. Yeah, up until April 25th was the last day for auctioning.
How much they sold?
And they sold 1.8 million Solana.
Jesus.
Which is quite a good amount of Solana.
That's a lot sold.
Yeah, so ranges for the bids were anywhere between $85 to $110.
Okay.
However, it looks like the majority of the bids that were going through were at the $95 mark and up, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So like anything below that probably didn't get processed.
Okay.
And current price of Solana is
127
and 17 cents. So it's approximately like 26% discounts if you bought it at $95.
Mm-hmm.
And then 15% discount price at the $110 mark.
Okay.
So yeah, $1.8 million. 1.8 million Solana is quite a good amount of Sol. That being said, today is the 30th, and this episode comes out on the 2nd. Hopefully, essentially, on May 1st, the estate will be doing another auction for its remaining Solana.
Okay.
However, I don't know how much Sol is left, but they will be continuing doing more auctions.
Yeah. On top of that, just so everyone's aware, all that Solana that was just sold is locked up for 4 years.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like how if the prices keeps on dropping, then those people just have like a buffer right now for what the price is.
Yeah.
Like I was just about I was like, oh, maybe they could sell, but then I was like, wait, no, they can't sell. That's Solana's locked up. They don't have the ability.
It's to prevent them from dumping on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Which this coming May we have a lot of token unlocks happening.
Yeah, that is true. I think Pith is doing
doing their yearly unlock, and they which is quite a bit. It's like it's like 2 billion or a billion. I don't know how much. I think it's like a billion tokens.
I think it's like 1.8
million.
I think that's what I remember saying. I don't remember. You know what? No, scratch that. 1.8 was what I was just talking about for the FTX Solana thing. Yeah. No. Scratch whatever I just said. But yeah, it is actually quite sizable. I do remember it being a sizable amount.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. How big is the unlock before we end? See if I pull it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I got it. Yeah, it's 2.1 billion, 23% of the supply from the looks of it. I can't zoom in on my computer.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yeah, but this is the whole unlock for the year.
For the entire year.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's likely going to happen is there's going to be some steep drop off after. However, immediately after, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but definitely after, there will be some probably drop off where people are going to start selling.
Yeah, so the unlock is 2.3, 20% of total supply. And currently it's a 1.26 billion market cap. So a good amount of Pith is being unlocked. That's just one of many. There's a bunch of other tokens being unlocked. I think I'm.
Yeah, just one of many.
Yeah, DYDX, SUI, a whole bunch. So there will be a bunch of unlocks coming out. So prices will be affected by that. Some of these unlocks are just like quarterly or every so often. I know Pyth is once a year. Up until the entire supply is out. So be aware.
Be aware. There might be some drops in prices after these unlocks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bitcoin keeps up the uptrend or the downtrend, it will also hurt harder. But that's it.
Yeah. It will also hurt much harder for sure. Yep. Well, thank you guys for coming this far. Please leave a like, comment,
subscribe,
drop a share,
follow,
subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys.
It's been another week
of your favorite crypto podcast.
I think this was 100% better, by the way.
100% better. Hell yeah. Well, I mean, just with the little camera switch angle that you did, I'd say that about did it.
Yeah. It's been another week
of your favorite crypto podcast.
Sometimes crypto.
The unscripted
Crypto podcast.
Crypto podcast. Heyo.